All right, so this is your push-up progression exercise. So this is a great exercise for your pushing strength and integrated full body strength. Love it as it's a body weight exercise, super portable, you take it anywhere. The only equipment it's nice to have. I like to have a glute loop, and I'll show that in just a moment. I have this box. A lot of people don't have this kind of thing at home, but this level here would kind of simulate the back of your couch perhaps. And so maybe you're doing an incline push-up and you're starting at the back of your couch. For push-ups, it is better to incline them than to be doing push-ups from your knees. And that's because it creates more of that full body kind of integrated strength rather than just kind of stopping at our knees. And we want to be able to progress it a lot more effectively as well. And the incline allows us to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna show what we wanna do, and then I'll give some options. Now, when you're doing your push-up, and I'm just gonna fit into the camera a little bit better. When you're doing your push-up, you wanna make sure that your elbows kind of create, I think of it as an A, from crown out to your elbow points, that's an A. We don't want a T, so we don't want our push-ups like this. We also don't want an I, so we don't want our elbows right beside us. We want to have, for your standard push-up, we wanna have that A kind of shape. There's a lot of talk over hand angle, and recently a lot more talk about how women might prefer having their hands out a little bit more to get at that optimal angle so there's not too much compression at that shoulder joint. Reason being, when our arms are down, we tend to have a little bit more valgus, so elbow angle in at that elbow joint, so that when we bring it up to have our hands in might put us more into that T position. So play around with what feels strongest in your body and more resilient through the shoulders. So you can play around with that, whatever incline you have, and set up so your feet are a little bit wider. That provides a bit more stability. That's another progression point that you can do, is start to bring your feet a little bit closer in towards the midline. It also is helpful because when your feet are wider, it shortens the lever length. So when you go to do your push-up, we lower the chest. We're not bowing the head forward, so that's a common mistake. So you want to feel like you're holding a grapefruit underneath the chin as you do the push-up. And it's an inhale, core is strong, exhale. Common mistake would be to be piking too much at the waist. Yes, that is a regression option, but I would prefer that you establish a steeper incline and keep the body integrated as a whole. The reverse is also a common mistake, is where we let the hips sag too much. And that is more notable on the push-up, where sometimes people are kind of doing a peel up, okay? So you want to keep the whole body integrated as a whole. And then for progression, you would simply find lower and eventually lower surfaces until you're eventually on the ground. And this is still quite a good elevation, so you can find, benches, steppy stools, bottom step of your staircase, lots of different ways to start to progress closer and closer to the ground. Now, glute loop. I love this add-on for your push-up because it really helps with that scapular stability in the movement. So putting it around just above your elbows, and everything else is the same, but your chest is going to kind of come into contact with that as we stretch out, and it just provides a lot of scapular stability for that movement. I frequently do my push-up from the ground with this on because I like how it reminds me to have that angle at the shoulders. Some options once you get down to the ground, love it if you continue to lower from your toes. If needed, you can drop the knees to drive up. But you only want to progress to the ground once you can do a few in succession on that ground level. So really train that incline, getting lower and lower and lower until you feel confident, then bring it down to the ground. And that would look like, once we're on the ground, again, you can start with your feet wider, lowering down. And if you feel like you just are stuck there, don't let the hips drop. You might drop the knees and then press up. Ways to progress it once we're down on the ground is you can add a plate onto your back, a weighted vest, so load it. The other way is to start to then lift your feet back up. All those same surfaces you use to create an incline, you can then put your feet up on those surfaces to start to create a decline. That puts more upper body emphasis in that pushing motion. And the reason I love this exercise functionally, systemically, is the push-up is one of the best examples of integrated strength. Rather than just training chest or arms in isolation in that pushing action, it teaches your entire body to create tension and work as this coordinated unit. Every repetition challenges your ability to stabilize throughout the trunk while generating that force through your upper body. And that capacity supports everything from getting up off the floor to pushing away heavy objects. Super functional, and love it from that systems lens.